So good morning to everyone, and today is an as many of the
Good morning,
participants.
sir.
Yeah, good morning, good morning. So many of the participants here, which are there, they are mostly of
Good morning, sir.
yeah, good morning. So many of the participants here are of engineering background. So happy Engineers Day for everyone, as it is 15 September. So it's been the day which we have to celebrate as an engineer. So I hope I'll now introduce our today's very first speaker, Mr. Anand Kumar Mishra. Okay, so he's been presently associated with 3D Rexer Education Private Limited as a senior product trainer. He has been experienced in STEM trainer. He has been experiencing in providing the 500 plus technical workshops related to FDM based 3D printers, design thinking, and also about the rapid prototyping and integrating of design. He has also implemented 3 days of TQI in 3D printing, design and application. And even he has contributed in the the curriculum to be developed in the development of the testing and STEM projects. Uh, the he has also had developed the content workshop for the designing in the SolidWorks, 3D printing and FDM technology, vacuum casting, woodworking, 3D scanning, 3D systems, and obviously in reverse engineering. So, if you see of his educational background, he's been mechanical engineer in 2015 from the Biju Patnaik University of Technology, Odisha. So now I would not time, and I'll better hand over to Anand sir now, and I hope we'll enjoy the session. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes.
Hope I'm audible as well as my screen is visible.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So, good morning to everyone for this session on 3D printing design and application. So,
Good
basically,
morning, sir.
today we will. Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. So, basically, today we will be learning a lot of things regarding 3D printing. Actually, my idea is that today we will try to learn all the basic steps which are required for 3D printing. Every person who is today in this meeting, they will get an opportunity to view a printer as well as they can see how the designing is done with softwares they are being actually used. That is my main agenda today. All right. So basically, 3D Actor is associating with Bharti Vidyapit for the topic 3D printing design and application. So what are our agenda today? So we will be learning about 3D printing basics specially. I will talk a little bit about application part, where this 3D printing is used. I will be telling only briefly about application because I will be directly going mostly into the designing part, because designing part and slicing part. I will be focusing on the slicing part because this is software where we will be using the 3D printer. All right, we will get to know about the technical part where what is slicing and how it is being done before going into the demonstration part, that will be our 3D printer part. All right, everyone. So let's begin. Who we are. My name is Anand Kumar Mishra and I have been associated with the company 3 Extra Education from the past 4 years, and right now I am a senior product trainer. So basically we manufacture our in-house 3D printer in Delhi. Okay. After that we actually take up sessions related to 3D printing throughout India. So our main motive is we train people not only in corporate sector but also in colleges and schools. We train people about this 3D printing technology. We make them aware about what all they can do using this technology. All right. So basically, we are a training and 3D printing education company. We have been starting up from the year 2050, and we have a lot of ATL labs as well as a lot of what is say prototyping lab, that I would say, in throughout India, not only in colleges, in schools, but also we have a lot of 3D printers that we have set up in companies as well. because prototyping is mostly done in companies. Moving forward, basically what we are going to talk today is this additive manufacturing. All right. So basically what happens is, as compared to traditional manufacturing, that is subtractive manufacturing. That means, for example, I have to make an object. So what happens is I take a block of, for example, I have to make a metallic part. So I will be taking up a metallic block. I will be cutting down the layers or cutting down the object to the required dimensions, like the just like we do in the lathe machine. Every college has a lathe machine, so everyone must have felt the lathe machine, how it works. It is like peeling off the layers by layers and coming to the final dimension, right? But in additive manufacturing, what we do is we add the layers, right? There is no object, but we add the layer one by one and the final object is created. Well, the raw material here can be plastic, or basically I would say thermoplastic, even metals, even resins, even composites. So additive manufacturing is being available in all the technologies, and there are different varieties of technologies for different variety of materials. All right. Now, what is being done basically is, first we will be creating a CAD model. Now, one thing I want to tell here is any CAD designing software will work, like AutoCAD, like CATIA, like SolidWorks. Any CAD software can work. All right. Now, after that designing, what we do slicing. We do slicing in the software that we will learn today, that is Cura. In slicing, we will be creating a G code. Well, basically, what is G code? I will talk about that also. G code actually it contains a geometric code. It will be containing the data at what temperature the material has to melt, at what motion or what are the speed for the machine. So basically, it is the data for the machine, right? So after that, we will be using a 3D printer to print our object. So these are the things that we will be discussing today. Now there are different terms actually added to regarding additive manufacturing, like rapid prototyping or direct digital manufacturing, layered manufacturing, right? And even additive fabrication. So these are the basically different terms that are actually used for additive manufacturing. Now coming to the difference between subtractive and additive manufacturing. Now, if you see the top image, you can see a CNC machine. Suppose we have a block of material and a CNC machine is using the milling tool to cutting down the object the required dimensions. All right. Now same thing if we are doing in additive manufacturing technology. You see, it is being actually, there is a wire thermoplastic basically in this method. We are melting it and we are depositing it layer by layer. So this is the required dimension. We are not cutting anything or we are not subtracting anything, but we are adding it layer by layer till the final layer has been made, right? So one of the advantage, as you can directly see, is that there is very less wastage of the material actually. All right, there is very less amount of wastage of the material. Now let's go into the application part where it has been used. See, one of the most advantage of here is any complex shape, right? One of the biggest advantages, any complex shape can be created in this technique. Because the 3D printer, it actually doesn't, let me go back again. Actually, the 3D printer doesn't care about the design or the type of design you made. It does the printing. All right. As many complex objects can be 3D printed. Now, which all industries are actually utilizing this 3D printing technology right now is one of the biggest, I would say, and the first and the foremost is the research and development wing of every company, because it is, as I told you, it is a part of rapid prototyping. So basically 3D printing has reduced the prototyping time by almost 1/10. All right. So most of the prototypes, even I have done a lot of prototypes for most of the companies. Recently, 1 year or 2 year backs, we actually did a prototype for Maruti Suzuki company. All right, we created a vehicle or engine casings for the Maruti Suzuki company. Also, just last month, we created a helmet, a real life, real size helmet that can be used for prototyping. We 3D printed that. So basically prototyping is almost nowadays done completely through this method, that is 3D printing. All right. Now coming back to the next stage, that is aerospace and automobile. Now, one of the biggest advantage in this technique is that we can use topology optimization. All right, we can use topology optimization here. Okay, I think my screen is visible right now. All right, let's see. So basically, one of the biggest advantage of 3D printing is automobile and aerospace industry. How? Because they are using topologically optimized parts so that the weight can be reduced. The weight of the object is actually reduced a lot. Next, and the most part that has been used up is by healthcare and medical. So this healthcare and medical industry, well, I would say they were the one, and the most research is being done in this technology is in this area, that is healthcare and biomedical. Why? Because you see, most complex the operations, they are being actually done through this advantage method, that is 3D printing. I will be showing you also examples. All right, so let's move forward and let's see how 3D printing is actually affecting all these areas. Now, the first and the foremost that I wanted you to see is healthcare and medical, because this was the industry. Even now, also, I would say they are implementing or using this method to a very high extent. Like they are using it for prototyping, they are using it to make even tools, and they are the one who are developing the technology. Also, I would say a lot in high effects. So, in this screen, you see two images, right? In the top, you see that there are researchers who are trying to 3D print organs, right? They are trying to 3D print organs for replacement. It is not successful till now, but even they are trying their level best to make 3D print organs. All right. Now, just below it, you see this is 3D printed object. This is of a fetus, a human fetus. It's the image of a human fetus. So basically, in Japan, after the atomic blast, even right now, there are effect of the atomic radiation, right? So what doctors actually do is they do a scanning of the fetus, and then they 3D print the object or the person, the child. It is 3D printed, and then what the doctor actually does it, they study the fetus, like how the operation can be made so that the child will be, and the operation, the child can come out very easily. So that is the main motive over there, right? Now moving forward, coming to the 3D printing aids. Okay, we are discussing healthcare and medical aid sector. So basically 3D printed hearing aids. Now most of the hearing aids are now 3D printed. As you see, this the first image that you see, it is I think in brownish color. So basically these are the hearing aids. Now as I had told you, the thing is 3D printing is about customization. So according to the requirement of a client, the customized products can be done. So this is one of the biggest advantage. All right. So as you see, the human ear, the part of the human beard, it is different from person to person. So customization is required. So in that case, we cannot go for mass production. So we go for 3D printing. So 96% of the hearing aids are actually 3D printed. All right. Now next you see a Siamese twin over here. So what happened is their head is over here. It is kind of stuck while birth. All right. Now what the doctors have actually done is they have they what they do, they scan this part and then they 3D print the part. Okay, why they do so? Because if they study the zone where they are going to actually what you say do the operation. If they scan it beforehand, they understand the complexities that they are going to face in the future while doing the live operation. Right? They study the object 3D printed part beforehand so that the complexities that they are going to face in the future that can be avoided or they can be minimized. Right? Like the bloodless or the other parts that can be reduced. Okay, now as you see this image, pink color, actually the scientists are 3D print trying to 3D print lungs. You see, this is a 3D printed lungs. They are trying to create all this. Okay, because a lot of replacements are being done. So basically they are trying to replace human organs. We are trying our level best so that a donor is not required. Right, a donor is actually not required. And the most important thing you see is the prosthetics. Now, prosthetics is in the market for a long time. Now it is completely customized product, right? Prosthetics is a completely customized product. So 3D printing has reduced the cost of the prosthetics to a high extent. Okay, now this is a huge advantage because the customization requirement, as well as I would say uh, it is able to reduce the cost. So I have a prosthetic arm with me, you see. I think it is visible to everyone in my screen. If you, okay, all right, okay.
Yes, sir, it's
If you are able
visible.
to see, okay, if you are able to see my camera, you see this is a prosthetic arm. Okay, this is 3D printed arm. So basically we had actually 3D printed this for a client, actually for testing purpose. All right, so these all are actually being done in the field of 3D printing. Now moving forward, see the first image it is showing this incident happened in Delhi itself. One of the doctor, the 3D printed the lung part before going for the actual 3D printing or actual surgery. So basically why they are doing so, because it will be reducing the complexity during the operation part. All right, next you see this part. Well, this is a highly customized part made up of tungsten. So a person must have faced with an accident. So this part that has been scanned, this part of the head or skull, it has been scanned, and according to the requirement of the customer, the shape and size, this part was 3D printed using titanium alloy. Now, one more thing in this field is aerospace. So basically why they are using in aerospace is because they require lighter products. The requirement is we need lighter products so that the fuel usage will be less. All right, now this can be only achieved through 3D printing, because the complex designs, they are actually not able to be made through other what you say traditional method. I will be showing you an image also about that. So basically you see Airbus and all of them, they are actually 3D printing more than about 100,000 parts through this technique. Not only Airbus, even you see NASA rover currently contains over 70 FDM 3D printed parts. So basically they are trying to give the best quality products with the best properties, and using them, they are the best advantage to use them to get better property is 3D printing. All right, now I will be also showing you in the automobile industry what they are actually doing. See, the first is, this is chassis of a car. You see, this is what I was saying. The main frame of the car, it can be made in this way, like wherever the stress is more, we can keep only that part, and we can leave out the other parts where the material is not required. This is known as topological optimization. You see, it will be completely reducing the weight of the body, as well as the strength of the body will remain the same. So this kind of manufacturing can only be done through additive manufacturing, right? So just below it, you are able to see a RB. So basically this was the first 3D printed, complete 3D printer car. It was an electric car. You can search in the Google. It is RB, right? This was the first complete 3D printed car, which is right now in production also. Now, if you see this image, a lot of parts, it has been 3D printing is going on. The basic thing is they are trying to reduce the weight of the vehicle so that the fuel consumption is as low as possible. All right, now coming to the education and research and development field, what happens is, now all the what you say research and all the development, they want prototypes basically for testing phase, right? So they go forward for 3D printing. The main advantage here is we can create a prototype in very less amount of time, right? In the first image, as you see, this is a child's idea of a robotic arm. Okay, there is no what you say, there is no such electronics involved, but he has used simple hydraulic pressure to operate this hand, right? All the parts you see here are 3D printed except the syringes and the pipes. So basically it is a hydraulic arm that the child has created. So all this idea that comes up to any scientist, they are kind of applying them to create prototypes. Now, the most advantage that I would say is mass customization. Now, imagine that you all are going to buy something in the market which is available beforehand. Now, if you want something that is your custom fit, now, this can be only possible through 3D printing, right? Because by traditional methods, what happens is the cost actually goes up if you're comparing mass customization. But in 3D printing, this is easily achievable. So according to the requirement of the customer, we do the mass customization. All right. Now, you see, okay, these three things I would like to stress is, first is a drone. The drone sector actually, they are the most one which is using now. Even in our company, we had actually 3D printed a lot of drones from our clients. All right. Now, next you see this is a denture. This white color part, it is the denture. Well, why we are using a denture is, in SLA technique, not in FDA method, there is a method called SLA. Now, in that method, what happens is we create customized dentures. A very, very high precision is attained in SLA technique, stereolithography, that I would also say, selective, that is SLA technique. They use resins over there. All right. Now, we are using dentures in that technique because it is a customizable product, and actually basically the jaws of the persons are different, so we use customization there. Next, the fashion industry and the food industry, basically they are trying to use up all their energy in this because a lot of different variety designs, you see, this design, it cannot be made by traditional method. That is why 3D printing has come up. Now if you see, a lot of props that are being used in very, very big movies, they are being done through 3D printing. Now see, this is what I was talking about, mass customization. You see, the first thing is, you say earbuds. Okay, so according to the person's need, the earbuds are actually different. Next, to the drone industry that I was saying, according to the load capacity that the drone needs to have, we can actually use the material required, and we can do the settings in such a way that the drone can carry up more load. Next, you see this customized soles of a shoe, because the pressure points of a person will be varying. So in that case, this soles, customized soles are being made. There is a company out there who is creating them. Now, one more thing, they're different. If suddenly there is a requirement of any tool like wrench or anything, we can even 3D print them and use them. Now the materials are different. We can use different materials for 3D printing. You see, this is what I was telling. This is what dentures. Okay, basically these are the dentures, and this is of SLA technique. Okay, it is of high precision actually. And next is a 3D printed car. So these are the actually all the fields where mass customization is required, and 3D printing is also been done. Now see this part, this is the image that I was talking about. This is topological optimization. You see, now if you observe carefully, the first object and the final object, all right, so the work done or the load carried by the object, or the stress that is carried by the object, is the same, but the weight has been reduced to a larger extent. Now this design can be done through any traditional method, but the final image, it can be only done through 3D printing. So this is a huge advantage in automobile as well as in aerospace sector. So they are using this topology optimization thing for their huge advantage. Now, as I told you, the fashion industry is actually using up them. Now even scientists are trying to 3D print cement structures. Like this is a structure for bridge, right? This has been done in China actually. So scientists are trying to even 3D print buildings and bridges through this. The biggest advantage is we can do it very faster as compared to traditional method. Next is this. We have actually sent a scientists have actually sent a real 3D printer to space, that is International Space Station. They have actually sent one 3D printer to space where they did the 3D printing according to the requirement. Just like I showed you the wrench. So basically wrench was the first thing that was actually 3D printing in space. All right. Now, a live example that I would say is this Terran rocket, Terran 1 rocket study case that I would say. So using traditional manufacturing method, what happened is around 1 lakh parts were being manufactured, and using 3D printed, they joined all the parts, and complex parts, as I told you, can be 3D printed. So the number of parts they reduced got less than 1000 parts. Now build time, if you compare, it is 24 months for traditional manufacturing. For 3D printing, it takes only 2 months. See, it is getting highly reduced. So the supply chain, everything, it was simplified. So this is a case study of Terran 1. Everyone can able to look that up. So basically, this is a huge success because this Terran 1, it is also in production right now. Now, that was all for the application part. So as I had told you, I will be focusing on the 3D printing now. All right. So basically, we will be using a CAD software. I will be designing something in a CAD software. I will be transferring the file into Cura software, that is slicing software, and then we will be moving forward to printing. All right. Now, okay, let me share my one software. Hope everyone is able to see the SketchUp software. All right. Okay, see, why I am using this SketchUp software is because it is very easy to understand. You can use AutoCAD, you can use either CATIA, you can use either any CAD software like SolidWorks even, right? But the advantage here is SketchUp is very simple, and it is very easy to understand. Well, in the architecture field, people are actually using this design or this software. Now, moving forward, let's design something. So the basic tools I will discuss, and then I will be directly. All right. So basically, I will be using up that. Let's go camera, standard view. Let's go to isometric view. All right. So this is isometric view. So what I will do, I will be trying to 3D printing a keychain today. Keychain means I will be making COVID keychain today. So what we will do, I'm taking this. Done. Now see, what you can actually do is we can do this through dimension also. Okay, if you compare one thing, you can take up dimensions. We can create any object using dimensions. So the requirement of mine will be basically a COVID keychain. All right, so I will be making up that today. All right, now let's do one thing. Let me use the line tools first. So basically in this software, what happens is we are creating a 2D structure first. All right, we are actually creating a 2D structure first. Then we will be converting that into a 3D object. Now you can use any what you say CAD model, CAD software as you require. See, these are the 2D tools. Just like in most of the software, this is how it happens. We use the 2D tools to create any object. Right now you can use arcs over here. It is very similar to our objects or the tools that we use. Just like a paintbrush, we use paint. All right, it just like we use paint. This is also one of the like the same, but we can create 3D objects. See what I have done, I have only created 2D object. Now I have to convert it into a 3D. So let's do one thing. Let's make another hole over here. Okay, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create a keychain. So let's do one thing. So done. So I will do one more thing. I will add one more constraint over here. I will bring the screen to the center. I will zooming it. What I do, I'm creating a triangle over here. Let's do one thing. Let's create a triangle over here. Okay, done. That's over. Now I have to transfer, make this object a 3D. Well, in different softwares, what they do is they do that is extrude option is there. So in this we have a push pull option. So basically what I have done, I have made this. Suppose this is a COVID keychain. This is a tool where we can put our finger, and this part can be used for using what you say, clicking on buttons. While using going outside, we face a lot of difficulty. Like in COVID situation, we try to avoid touching the stairs. We try avoiding touching the handle of doors. So basically, this is for that purpose. All right. Now see, once I've made it, you see there are different tools. Now you can use any tool that you know, or any software that you know. The design that I have done is actually basically a SketchUp software, but what you can do, you can use any designing software which can create a any what you say, any model, right? Now next is the most important part that I want you to focus. While saving the file, all right, while saving the file, you need to save the file in export STL. Now the format that you need to save the file is export STL format. Now STL stands for stereolithography or standard tessellation language. All right, it is either stereolithography or standard tessellation language. Now suppose you are trying to design something in SolidWorks, right? SolidWorks is most of the time famous and people are designing in SolidWorks. Now what happens is, if you are saving the file, you have to go to save as option. In save as option, you have to click on STL format and you have to save the file in STL. Okay, now it will ask me where I want to store it. All right, I will be keeping it in the ASCII format, exporting it, done. Okay, I am saving it in the desktop and I'm naming is that suppose whatever, let's say 15 SC 15 September 15 SCPT. All right, I'm saving that. So my STL file, I have not saved my file. I have only saved the STL format. So now what I will do, I will slice it. All right, what is slicing? I will be showing you what is the next step after designing. This is the first stage, right? You create a 3D model. Once the 3D model is done, we will do the slicing part right now. So let me stop the screen. I will go directly now to Cura software. Okay, I hope I'm able to see the Cura software. I think everyone is able to see the Cura software.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So basically, this is the software that we use for handling our printer. So whatever commands we need to give for the printer, we give all the commands and all the requirements over here. All right. Now see this cube, what you are seeing here, this is the volume of our printer. Right. So whenever we are installing or a new printer, what we actually do, this is the option you see, machine. We will be adding a new machine. Okay, you see the screen has come up. I will do next. I will be selecting an other. All right, let's go next. Okay, custom build. See, in this screen you see the custom reprep information. So basically I will name my computer, name my printer. And then here one more thing. So every printer that comes, it comes with some dimension that the company says, so this is the maximum volume of that our printer can build. So in our printer, the maximum volume that we can print is 200 millimeter, right? 200 and 200.
Sorry, sir,
Okay.
your screen is, I think, black.
All right, one more thing, add to one thing. I think, okay. Let me share the whole screen then. Okay. Is it visible now, sir? Done.
Yes, sir.
All right, great. See, this is the setting that I was doing. So I named my machine 3Dester, right? Now, whichever printer that we are actually using, what happens is we have to specify the volume. So the maximum volume that the printer can use, it is actually specified from the company itself, right? So in the machine that I am going to show you, the dimension is 200, 200, 200. But 200 means x-axis, it can move the print head. It can move only in the x-axis, that is in 200 millimeter. Y-axis, the print head can move 200 millimeter, and the z-axis, the maximum height the object can be printed is 200 millimeter. All right, so these are the first dimensions that we give. Next is the nozzle. So basically these are the physical or the hardware parts that the input that we are input. Now what is nozzle? So basically it is a part from there the melting is being done. It is the part where 3D printing the melting will come out. Now if we are using a 0.1 size nozzle, I will write 0.1. If I am using 0.4 or 0.3, so according to the nozzle that I am going to use, I have to enter that data. All right, so I will be using 0.4 mm data. Okay, I will be showing you also which is the part that I told you as the nozzle. All right, see, and the next thing is I have a heated bed plate. I will be showing you about the heated bed plate also. Now it has been done. So basically next what I will do, I will be showing you the Cura now. Done. Now see, so this blue box, if you see this blue box, this is the volume that we have entered, like 200 cross 200 cross 200. This is the volume of our printer. All right, now there are a lot of settings over here. I will discuss them with you. Before that, what we do is we need to print something, right? So I had actually designed my file. I saved the file in STL format. Now what I will do, I will go over here. See, there is option called load, or either I can go to file option, load model file, right? I can do any of them. I will load my file first. It will ask me where to search. In the desktop, I have saved it as 15 September, right? 15 September. See, the formats that it is accepting is STL format, .obj format, right? So I am clicking on 1st September, opening. Now observe a thing over here. Okay, this is my object and it has come too large for the machine. As the size is bigger than the machine, I did not take any dimensions actually. So what happened is the object is actually coming out of the machine. It is too large for printing. So now first thing that I will do is I will reduce the size of the 3D printed part. In the lower portion, you see there are three options for me. I can rotate the object, I can scale the object, I can actually mirror the object. I will scale down the object right now. Scaling down means I will be reducing the part. I think let me do it almost 0.25. It's 0.25. All right. So I have reduced the part to very small size. If you are able to see, this is the part. All right, from the top view, if you see, it has come very small. Now see how to know the dimensions. So this x-axis, y-axis, and the z-axis, these are the dimension of this object right now. Done. Now, once I have done that, it has turned into yellow. Why yellow? This means my object can be 3D printed now. My object can be 3D printed now. So this is the bed plate, and on this bed plate that printing will be done, and this is the maximum volume that my object can print, the printer can actually print. All right, now as soon as the size is reduced, in the top left corner you see the time is showing 1 hour 13 minutes. All right, it means the object will take 1 hour and 13 minutes to print this object. Now 9 grams will be utilized. So basically all this data we can get through this software. Now let me show you, before going to the setting, let me show you what is this software actually doing. You can see we have very different view modes. I will be showing you the layers. All right, now as I told you, additive manufacturing means we are actually putting the objects or printing the objects layer by layer. All right, now if you object, okay, I think it was deleted. All right, let me again load the model, not an issue. Let's go to normal mode. Okay, it's huge. Let's reduce the size again. Okay, that's the size that I was talking about. The time is set. Let's go to layer view. Okay, in layer view, you see different layers you can see. All right, You see individual, there are total of 66 layers. To the side you see there are a total of 66 layer, and individual layers you can see it is being printed. Okay, now let's focus on any one layer. Now there are 66 layers. All right, so let's discuss about the data that we actually provide in the 3D printer. Suppose the thickness of the printer, the object is some value, that is, let's go to normal view, scale. The Z is 6. All right, 6 millimeter. Now the layer height means the individual thickness of the layer. So individual thickness of this layer is known as layer height. All right, this height. So if I am increasing, okay, the value 0.3 suppose. All right, so the thickness of individual layers will increase. You see the number of layer it has got reduced. Now 6 millimeter while printing 0.1 layers, so the number of layer was 66. So if I am printing 0.3 layer height, that means individual layers the thickness is 0.3. So basically it is having 23 layers. All right, now if I am printing 66 layers, the number of time required will be high. Last time it was around 1 hour and 3 minutes, I think. Right now it is 23 layers and the time has reduced to 28 minutes. All right, so this is the advantage of reducing the layer height. Now one more thing is, if you're reducing the layer height, then the quality of the print will reduce. Okay, the quality of the print will actually reduce. Now we have to compromise either the quality or the time. This kind of indirectly proportional. So if you are increasing the time, we have to actually get better quality prints. We have to increase the time and get lesser layer height. Next thing that I want to observe is two things. You can, to the side you see a green color line and a red color line. This is the outer wall, and inside the filling is being done. This is yellow lines. Now in Cura or in additive manufacturing, this is the biggest advantage that we have. Either we can keep our object completely hollow, or we can put the infill density into here. All right, so this is the biggest. If I want, suppose you see 9 grams is over here. Now the outer wall, it is known as cell. All right, it is known as cell, and the inside part it is known as fill density. Okay, so the yellow part is fill density. Let me do it 100%. So if I want a highly big heavy object, so I will do 100% infill. So see all the layers, it is being 3D printed 100% density. Time taken is again more, 11 hours, and the gram is 22. The weight of the object is 22. So again I will reduce the object to around 40, let's say. So basically this is a huge advantage in 3D printing. I can decide the infill percentage of our model. Done. Now once it has been made, you can observe the cell thickness. So basically the cell thickness, it is the toughness of the object or the strength of the body is actually decided through the cells, how much we want. It may be 0.8, or we can put it even 2.2, 2.0. All right, so see the number of cells that is being 3D printed is more now. You see the red line and a lot of green lines is right now present. So basically if you want to increase the toughness of the object, we are increasing the cell thickness. All right, now if you want more strength, we are increasing the fill density. All right, so I will put it at 0.8. For normal prints which we need for showcasing purpose, we keep it at 0.8. You see the cell thickness has decreased. Then we can see, as in the inside part I am completely keeping it hollow, like 20% it is completely hollow. So I am trying to I'm trying my level best to cover it from the all the side. So the first top layer and the bottommost layer I will try to cover up, so that my inside all the fillings, they are not visible, right? The first layer and the final layer I am increasing it to 0.8. all right, I am trying to hide the inside parts. Done. Now after that we can do the setting over here for speed of the print. Okay, the faster the print, the quality will decrease. The lower the print speed, the better the print quality. Okay, so basically this is actually mentioned in the product kit, whichever machine you buy. So they provide you the according to the hardware part. So basically if I'm increasing the speed of the print, what happens, the vibration in the machine, they will be actually increasing, right? So this will actually result in the decrease of the print quality. I am going to use PLA material. So now see, whichever thermoplastic that I am going to use, it has got some melting point, right? So for that case, we will be mentioning that for if I'm using PETG, that is polyethylene terephthalate and glycol additive. So PETG material, we will be using 340 degrees Celsius. I am going to show you PLA material. Now a PLA melts at around 200 degrees Celsius and we can get a good quality print use at 200 degrees Celsius. So basically I've been doing that. All right. Now that's what we will do here. Now let's move forward. Let's go to normal view. Okay. Now two things that is left for discussion. That is support type and platform adhesion. Now suppose see this object, I am placing it completely flat. See this object is completely flat now. So if I'm trying to, let me change the orientation of this object. Let's go to rotate. I will do it in this way. So I will print this object in this way. Now if you observe one thing here, there are two things, sir. If the object is being printed layer by layer, okay, let's watch the layer view. If the object has been printed layer by layer, now see everything is okay, everything is okay. Now this part, this layer or this portion, right, exactly this portion, whenever it will be printed, there is nothing just below it. So basically whenever the nozzle is dropping the filament or the liquid filament, what is happening is the metal will actually fall down from the top portion, right? It will simply fall down due to gravity. So what is required is we have to create supports over here. All right, because after 3D printing, we can remove the supports from this portion, and not only this part, also this part. Okay, these are overhanging parts that I would say. Not only this, over this also, this part. So let's do one thing. Let's go to support. I will select one option that is everywhere. Done. Now see, this is what I was talking about. This blue color part, it is our support. From the top you can see this is the support, and it has got lesser density as compared to our main object, so that after printing we can break this object and take it out. All right, so see, this is the support, the blue part. Okay, so basically this is creating a support so that the material will not fall down. If you observe this part, this portion, and also the front portion, so basically the printing is being done on this platform. It is kind of a platform on which the printing is being done. All right, now moving forward to the next stage, that is platform adhesion type. Now what is happening is, let me do one thing. Let me change the orientation again. If I am trying to print any object in this way, all right, now if you observe one thing, the point of contact of the object is very less here. The point of contact is very less over here. So what will happen is, while printing, suppose let's go to layer height. If you see, it is printing. All right, okay, now what happens is as this is a very small point of contact, while printing this object, this part, basically it may get uprooted. That means it will completely come out from the bed plate and our print quality will be completely gone. All right, so what happens is, what we actually do is we go add a platform over there. We can suppose use a raft over there. So what happens is, it will be first creating a like what you say, a base. So basically let me zoom in. This is a base, and on this base the printing is being done. All right, so basically what happens is, small very thin surface area objects, they will be getting a better stand to fix themselves, and the printing will be okay. All right, so all these settings we can actually do in Cura. Now one thing you must have observed is, these supports, they and the raft also, they are basically eating up our material, right? So we should reduce them. So one advantage that we can actually always do is, we can always try to print our model. Let's go to the model in such a way that we will be using less amount of material. Okay, let me rotate it over here. Okay, let me come over here from this direction. Let me rotate it over here. I will be laying it flat. Done. So what I am done is, okay, I will remove the raft right now because it doesn't read any raft now. Okay, see. So I will remove the support also. There will be no requirement of support. There is no overhanging part right now. So what I have done, I have reduced the amount of material used. See, it is right now 10 grams. Okay. Okay. One more thing is, the last thing that I want to say is the diameter of the filament. Okay. Now what will happen? I will be using 1.75 diameter. All right. So see, there are two variety available for thermoplastic, that is 1.75 millimeter and another is 2.85 millimeter. I have with me 1.75 millimeter dia filament and I will be using that for printing now. All right. So once it has been done, say, see, I have already done the nozzle size as 0.4. All right. Now I will save my file. See, save tool path in my SD card. Now I will be using the SD card. Okay, I'm saving the file. Okay, G code is here. Okay, so basically I am using this SD card. I will be showing that in a mobile camera also. All right, not an issue. So let's do one thing. I'm copying my file right now. First thing is I will copying my file in the SD card. See, the SD card is over here. It has come up. There are some different G codes. So you can see that format of the file G code, right? 15 September. Let us remember that. So I will save it file. I have saved the file as G code. All right. So let's open the folder and see. All right. So basically, let me do one thing. Let me again share the screen over there. This is the SD card. All right. Now, this is the 15 September file G code. Let me open it up. I'm opening it the notepad. So what is happening is it contains a lot of codes, right? What are this code? Basically, it is all about the motion of the printer parts. So it is mostly similar to the CNC codes or the G codes used in the CNC machine or the M codes. So these are the codes which is actually utilized for motion. All right. So now what I will do, I will be showing you the printer right now. All right. I've copied this part. Okay. Okay. Let's do one thing. I have copied this to the SD card. So I will be taking out my SD card. So let's do one thing. I will be pinning a mobile phone. All right. Okay, I think let me search for my mobile phone. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me turn on the camera now. Okay, are you able to see this printer over here right now? Okay, let me go for landscape mode. All right. So basically, what is happening is.
Sir, just put it vertical. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that is better, I think. Okay. So yeah, basically, this is the printer. Yeah. Okay, what I will do now, let me stop my screen share and I will be continuing. All right, sir. Now. Okay, that is our printer. So basically, as I told you, I have actually copied my file in this SD card. Okay, so basically this is the SD card that we are going to use. Okay, now let us discuss about some of the parts in our 3D printer. Now, if you come to the top part, well, this part is the print head portion. All right, this complete part is the print head portion. And if we come to the lower portion, little bit more, and let me show you a close-up view. Let me show you a close-up view. So basically this part. Okay, basically this part. So this is the part. Okay, this is the part from where the filament will actually come up. This is the part from where the filament will actually come out. So this is known as the nozzle part. as I told you, also shown you, the nozzle size that we have given is 0.4. So the nozzle diameter is, there is a hole over here. So the diameter of the nozzle is 0.4. All right. So this whole part is the cartridge, this is a cartridge, this aluminum block. So this is the hot end part. So it is the part where, as I had given 200 degrees Celsius, this is the part where the temperature is 200 degrees Celsius, right? And this complete part is the print head part, right? Now, coming back a little bit more. Now, this is the bed plate. So this is the bed plate. Now, this is the part where the printing will actually take place. All right. Now, coming back to the screen. Okay. Now see, what is happening is I have a SD card. So I will insert the SD card in the SD card slot right now. All right. All right. You see, we get some of the data over there. Okay. Like 200 degree, that is the temperature of the nozzle right now. That is the reason why I use a tweezer. Okay, 200 degrees Celsius, the present temperature of the nozzle. The bed plate temperature, I have not given any data target, so it is 29. So all this data is actually available in the screen. All right, next we have a knob to the side of it. So basically what I will do, first I will remove the printer filament present, then I will add the new filament. All right. So that is the reason why I have only kept the temperature 200 degrees Celsius. All right. So let's
Sir,
see this.
screen is not visible.
All right. I think I have pinned. Let me do one thing. I think I have pinned Mr. Amit here over here.
No,
So
sir, in
screen
mobile
is visible.
screen is not visible.
Fine, actually. I think, ma'am, your net.
I have actually, sir, pinned Mr. C. Amit 3-tester guest. All right. We have pinned him. Is it visible, sir, right now?
Yeah, it's working fine, sir.
Okay, great. See, now as I told you, I will be inserting a new filament. So what is a filament? You see, this roll, okay, this is thermoplastic. So basically what is happening is it is containing our 1.75 dia filament. All right, so basically it is containing a 1.75 mm dia filament. So let's do one thing. I will go back to the printer, to the back side of the printer. I will remove it. Okay. So what to do that, what I will do, I will not go back. I will turn the printer right now. The back side, you see this is the complete spool. I will be actually removing this from the back side of the printer. You see, now see this part is known as the extruder part. All right. Now if you see, this part is known as the extruder part. In every printer, what happens
Yes,
is
sir.
this is.
Sir, we can't see the screen, sir. On mobile.
Pramod sir, I think is it not visible? We have pinned. See Amit 3-tester camera.
Sir, don't know what is the.
I
Okay,
think,
not
sir,
an issue.
It might be the network issue for the people.
It is
but
Amit 3-tester guest. All right.
Maybe, sir, because it is not visible on mobile. I think that is the problem.
Yes, I think so.
Yes, sir. Not visible on mobile.
Okay, now I think it is visible. It is in the recording, not an issue. So see, so what will happen is the next thing is this is the extruder part, as I was telling. For those who are able to see, this is the extruder part. So now this part, it will either push the filament or pull the filament. In our case, it is actually pushing the filament into this guide pipe. All right. So let me do it manual process. I am pushing the filament right now. So basically this is the guide pipe, and this guide pipe is actually going inside the printhead. All right, it is going inside the printhead. I'm pushing the filament right now. I will push it a little bit more right now. Okay, if we come to the front part right now, you see right now, before we have a black filament, right now we have a white color filament has come out. Okay, now our printer is ready. Now the thing is, you see, I have already inserted the SD card. What I will do now is I will give a print command. I will go to the screen, click on the knob. So all the commands that we give to this knob. I will rotate the knob. We will go down. We will go to print from SD. Okay, see, I will be getting different files which need to be printed, right? I will select whichever is required. Okay, I will click on whichever is required. So this is the 15th September that I have made. I will click there. Now see, it is getting bed heating because in our G-code Cura we had actually set the bed temperature 60 degrees Celsius. So what is actually happening is the temperature, it has got some data that is it has to rise up to 60 degrees Celsius before it is started printing. All right. Well, let's do one thing to quick it up. Let me go to control and let me change some settings right now. So for the bed plate, I am reducing it right now from the printer itself. Let's keep it 35. All right. If you see, the printing has directly started. If you see, the print is being working, and from the top, if you observe, all right, if you observe, let's see this right now. Okay, so basically this is the outline that is first being 3D printed. All right, from the top, if you are seeing, this is the first outline that is being 3D printed. I think the brightness is high. All right, so it will first cover up the outline, then it will fill up the inside part also. All right, so if you are once the infill is also done, you will be able to see the white part also. All right, so let's wait for it. Okay, you see, this is how the printer is functioning. So according to the G code, actually what the G code actually contains, it is containing the motion of this print head part. So basically this print head part, it is the one which is moving. So the motion is regarding this. So how is it moving? You see the belt arrangement over here. Let me show you a little bit back. So what is happening is.
Yeah, hello sir.
Yes, sir, sure.
Hello.
Yes, sir, I'm able to hear you. Please continue.
Yeah, sorry to disturb you, sir. Sir, we are unable to see the screen.
Okay, I think, sir, I have actually pinned the Amit 3-gesture camera. Okay, it is Amit 3-gesture camera.
Actually, I have made him presenter as well. You can check it, and you pin him Amit 3-gesture camera.
Yes, I have pinned Amit 3-gesture camera. All right. It is already there. We have pinned it. I hope it is visible to all right now.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. See, it was Amit 3-gesture camera. All right. Now see, as I told you, the motion is being done over here, right? Now, how is the motion being done? Now, from the back side also, if you observe, okay, now to the back side, if you see, you can see stepper motors over there. Okay, so basically this motion, whatever you see, they are being done through the stepper motor motion. All right, this is the print head part, and it is moving due to the stepper motor movement. So in G code, whatever codes that we have made, basically they are controlling the stepper motors. So basically there is x-axis motion, y-axis motion, and z-axis motion. So basically the motions, all of them, they are being controlled through the stepper motors. All right, we have 3 stepper motors for 3 axis and 1 for the extruder part. All right, so once I have given a print command, it will be continuously printing.
हो गया सर, फिनिश कर दिया मैंने.
All right, what I have done is I have okay, it will be continuously printing till the final product has been made. All right, so guys, first actually what we learned today is we did designing, and then we in 3D printing we do slicing, and once the slicing has been made, now if you observe the outline, it is exactly similar to the one I have made. It is completely same. Okay, so dimension, all of them, if we set it correctly, we will be getting almost accurate product in 3D printing technique. All right, so if you have any doubts or any queries regarding it, you can also raise it now.
Any questions in the participants?
Hello, sir.
Hello, ma'am.
It was a nice presentation and nice insights to the 3D printing.
Okay,
I just want to ask one question related to the, if we are doing 3D scanning instead of designing,
okay.
and if I have to reduce the noise in STL file, so how we distinguish between the required data and noise?
Exactly, ma'am. See, there is a software called Mesh Mixture. All right, there is a software called Mesh Mixture. So basically what happens in STL file, it contains a lot of triangles. Okay, now in Mesh Mixture, they will be actually, you can see all the triangles, or whichever triangles you do not need them, you can reduce the number of triangles. We can even edit all the triangle data, sir, ma'am, in Mesh Mixture, MESHMIXER, Mesh Mixture.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Any other participants want to ask some questions?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. I want to ask one question. Sir, what are the other software for the 3D printing? And is there any software which are available for students?
Okay, good morning, ma'am. So basically, for 3D printing, ma'am, SketchUp or the designing software, you can use any designing software that you need, right? It may be SolidWorks, CATIA, anything will do. But while saving, you have to save in STL format. All right. And the next software that I showed you was Cura. Now, Cura is an open source software. All right. This is open source software and it's a free software. Any student can go to the website of Ultimaker Cura. The website is Ultimaker Cura. And students can download the latest version or any version, and they can use it for 3D printing or slicing basically.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you,
Good
ma'am.
morning, sir.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, can you again repeat the name of the website? ALTI?
ULTIMAKER. Ultimaker Cura, CURA.
Okay. So my question is, can we use this D-Texture machine for 3D printing of footwears and other accessories also in fashion field?
See, the thing is, the size of the machine varies, ma'am. This is a smaller size bed size, that is 200 cross 200. Now, if you see the size of a footwear will be larger than this. So we are actually manufacturing printers which are larger in size also. We have a bed plate of 300 cross 300. We have a bed plate of 400 cross 400, and also the size is increasing to maximum 500 cross 500. All right, ma'am. Now, this is a thermoplastic, that is, I would say this is PLA, polylactic acid. Now, if you want a flexible material, that is either TPU or TPE, that is mostly used in footwear. So we can use that also. We are making that machine also, that is having direct extrusion part. All right, ma'am. So only you need a larger size printer, and that can be done.
So is it possible for you to share the price also? Like if we want to buy the same for our institute?
Okay, so we will contact you, ma'am, regarding that.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I think some participants have raised their hand. I think Dharmesh sir and Satya sir, they have raised their hand. You can, I think, unmute yourself and say, sir. Okay.
Okay, any other participant want to ask some questions?
Yes. Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You are audible. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Sir, how the support material is incorporated? Is it printed there?
Sir, see, basically in Cura, we can give a small amount of gap between the support and the printer roof, right? So what happens is we can easily remove the support, because if it is sticking directly to the bed, to main object, there will be small line. Okay, to remove the line, we have to post processes like sanding is done. We use file to remove or clean the surface, right? We have to do some post processing also for make the surface better quality.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Okay. Hello, sir.
Sir, we do need another machine for post processing.
Pardon, can you repeat?
We have to use another machine for post processing after 3D
Oh,
printing.
so basically, what we do, it can be, we use sandpaper or ragmark paper to scratch out the materials, extra materials. We do it through hand.
Yes, yes.
The post processing is mostly done through hand only. Right, sir?
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
It's a manual process.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other participants who want to ask questions? I think, sir, it's almost done then.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Then I'll just share my screen now, so
Okay,
that
all right.
when I'm wanted the contact and all, so I'll just share your details.
All right, sir. All right. Thank you.
It was a very nice session. We had a practical session today, and we usually we could see the 3D printer and how the 3D printer works exactly. We had a glimpse over the software as well, with the Cura software, then Slicer and everything. So thank you so much, sir. And for if anybody has the problem about the recordings and all.